Every community has rules, right? They're there to keep the peace. But what happens when that rule book becomes the actual weapon in an all-out war? Today, we're diving into a wild story where a homeowners association did just that. It turned on itself.
So what does happen? Well, a retirement community in Arizona found out the hard way. And listen, we're not talking about some petty squabble over holiday decorations. No, this was a full-blown internal war, a legal drama that exploded when the very board in charge became its own worst enemy.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story unfolds in the Sunland Village Community Association. Now, everything was supposed to be run by a 7-member board of directors. Pretty standard stuff. But then, one member resigned, and that one small act created the absolute perfect and paralyzing storm. With only 6 members left, the board split right down the middle, a 3-on-3 stalemate. On one side, you had a board member named Tobin and his 2 allies. On the other, the 3 remaining members. This wasn't just a simple disagreement, it was complete and total paralysis. And to really understand why they were so stuck, you have to know about one crucial little rule. And that rule is all about something called a quorum. It's a simple idea, really. For any official business to be legit, Sunland's board needed at least 4 members present. See the problem? With a 3 versus 3 split, neither side could hold a valid meeting on its own. They were completely stuck, and that's when things went from just dysfunctional to downright hostile. So, who fired the first shot? Well, in a pretty surprising move, it was the Homeowners Association itself. Sunland filed a formal legal petition against one of its own board members, Tobin, officially dragging their internal dispute right into a courtroom. And this quote gets right to the heart of their accusation. The HOA basically claimed Mr. Tobin ambushed the annual meeting with surprise proposals. They argued he was effectively silencing the voices of any member who wasn't physically in that room to vote. The violation they claimed was incredibly specific. As you can see, Tobin proposed 3 changes to the bylaws right from the floor. The big problem? The rules were crystal clear. You needed to give 10 days written notice to all members. Tobin even admitted he didn't provide it, which the HOA said made the whole vote illegal. But believe me, this was just the opening salvo. After being targeted by the HOA, Mr. Tobin fired right back. He filed his own petition, and his accusation was just as serious. He claimed the other faction held an illegal, secret meeting behind his back. And his language here is incredibly direct. He calls it a pseudo-meeting, which is just a fancy way of saying it was a fake, a sham. He was arguing it had 0 legal authority to conduct any business for the association. So here's the breakdown of what he claimed. On February 11th, Tobin's 3 opponents got together. Now remember that quorum rule? They didn't have the 4 people they needed. But at this so-called meeting, they decided to declare Tobin's bylaw changes void. According to Tobin, this was a massive violation. You can't undo an allegedly illegal act by committing another one. And the fight wasn't over, not even close. In round 3, the accusations got personal, because now it was all about the money. Mr. Tobin claimed the opposing faction was using the community's own funds to secretly pay for their legal war against him. This is an absolute bombshell of an accusation. Tobin is claiming that a handful of board members secretly spent tens of thousands of dollars of the community's money, their neighbors' money, to push their own personal agenda against him. And this slide really shows the core of his argument. Community money was paying for lawyers without the proper okay. The HOA's own policy was crystal clear. The entire board had to approve any contact with lawyers. And the manager's defense? It was pretty weak. He claimed he had oral authority, but had absolutely 0 written proof. So with 3 different cases all flying around, with both sides accusing each other of breaking the rules, an administrative law judge had to step in and untangle this whole mess. And the final verdict? Well, it was complicated, and there was definitely no clean sweep for anyone. This table lays it all out beautifully. In round 1, the judge actually sided with the HOA, agreeing that, yeah, Mr. Tobin had violated the notice rules. But then, in rounds 2 and 3, the judge sided with Mr. Tobin, finding the HOA guilty of holding a meeting without a quorum and misusing funds on unapproved legal fees. It was a split decision, 2-1 in Tobin's favor. But here's the real twist.
The judge didn't just pick a winner. He basically put both sides on the scales, found them both at fault, and ruled that everyone had broken the rules. And because of that, everyone was going to pay the price. And here's how the financial penalties broke down. For his single violation, Mr. Tobin was ordered to pay the HOA's filing fee and a penalty. But for its 2 violations, the HOA had to pay Tobin back for both of his filing fees, plus 2 separate penalties. In the end, nobody came out of this thing clean. On June 15, 2012, the decision was certified, making it the final official word on the matter. After months and months of accusations, legal filings, and hearings, the war inside Sunland Village was finally over. And that really leaves us with one last question. In a fight where both sides just weaponize the rulebook and everyone is found guilty of something, what does victory even look like? It seems that in the battle of the bylaws, the only clear loser was the idea of community itself.